What happened there?
Well, my whole setup screwed up this week because my speakers died, alright? And my speakers died last night, so I can't mute my speakers anymore like I used to. In fact, right now I'm wondering if even anyone on the stream hear us. It'd be nice if, people could actually hear you talk, but I don't know if they're able to right now.
I actually can hear nothing right now. I hear nothing.
Well, you hear nothing.
I hear nothing at all.
Uh-oh. People are saying we're unsynced. Are you kidding me?
Restart this whole thing.
We might have to restart it.
Start this whole operation.
Wait, now they're saying it's good again. It's synced for me. We hear you, yes. So you guys can hear us, and we're synced. Is it good? All right, everyone's saying it's good. All right, good. All right. So, yeah, last night my speakers actually died on my PC, so I'm doing like a bootleg setup for the next week or two until I get a chance to go to the store and buy new speakers. So I have no ability. Actually, I could if I went down to my subwoofer, I could turn the speakers off physically. But for now, it is what it is. So anyway, everyone, welcome to Smark, guys. Today is Friday the 13th.
Whoa, really?
Yes, Friday the 13th.
I'm the one that's got to leave here late, walk down in the dark all the way down the street. That's gonna be frightening.
Uh-oh. Jason's gonna jump out of the woods.
I do carry many weapons with me though, so it should be okay.
All right, so welcome to Smark, guys. I am DSP, and with me, as always, is John Rambo. Ugh.
Goldust.
That shit is just so creepy.
Dude, when I was a kid, I said I was 10 years old.
I remember he would come out with the wig and Marlena would have the cigar. Like, why does Marlena have a cigar, Daddy?
That was like the first...
You're like, don't worry, son.
That was the first, like, very androgynous character. And I was about 9 or 10 years old when he debuted. I remember seeing the promos. They would do those promos leading into the debut. And then, Then he beat Razor Ramon, and it pissed me off.
I remember when RVD, all of a sudden he had a program with RVD.
Yeah.
He was like, he just appeared on the Titantron.
Yeah.
Ooh, RVD, you're my next target.
Do you remember? You remember Blue Dust? The Blue Meanie was with him.
No,
Blue Dust.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember Black Rain?
I do remember Black Rain from TNA. Yes.
Well, RVD. That's when they were like. That's when RVD was like the hottest thing, and then they were like
they deflated him by putting him in a program with Goldust.
They're like, fuck this guy. Put him in there with a program with Goldust, and just in the mid card, make him another guy, and that's what happened there. But many years of Goldust.
Ugh.
Many years.
So,
20 years of Goldust.
Speaking of Goldust, this week we'll be talking about him, his return, his in-ring return to WWE, the lead-in to the Night of Champions pay-per-view. We're going to talk about the Night of Champions pay-per-view, which honestly looks pretty piss-poor, in my opinion anyway, for our pay-per-view card.
I'm excited about something. I got my tickets this morning to Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. It was the third event. I went to the first one last year. It's in Poughkeepsie, New York. Again, the second one was in Philly, so I didn't go to that one. But the tickets are available today at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, which is a very famous building where they had a lot of the old Raws and WWF superstars and stuff. And Hogan fought Andre there and all kinds of things.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's going to be November. And Kevin Steen versus Rhino's on there.
Wow.
Terry Funk will wrestle. It's going to be Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk versus Lance Storm and X-Pac. So the first one was really fun, so we'll see what happens with this one. So I'm looking forward to it.
Very good.
Yes.
So this week in pro wrestling was an interesting week. The lead into Night of Champions, we had the No Surrender pay-per-view, which isn't a pay-per-view anymore, event on Spike TV. And it is important to note that later today we will be simulating some of the some of the Night of Champions.
What's going on today?
Some of the Night of Champions matches will be simulating in WWE 13. So definitely check that out on my my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming, or right here on my Twitch channel, Darkside Phil. So that's going to be coming up later. But we want to recap everything, obviously, leading into this pay-per-view. Where did they go with these plot lines? Some of them just kind of went off the rails. Some of them were just more of the same. So let's talk. Let's talk about Raw this week. So Monday Night Raw.
It's Raw.
Opens up, of all things, which I didn't expect this week, with Edge.
Well, they said we should be on, right? Didn't they announce?
I think they did, but I don't pay attention to that stuff, I really don't. So they're in Toronto, which is Edge's hometown. And Edge opens up the show. He says he's happy to be back.
I saw Edge. Edge was at the first House of Hardcore, so it all intertwines. I saw him at that show.
Maybe he'll be at the second. Who knows?
Maybe, I don't know.
So he opens the show. He says that Triple H asked him back because it's his hometown and it would be what's best for business. But Triple H wanted him to interview Randy Orton, However, he refuses to do so. Instead, he's going to invite out Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan comes out. He interviews him. He says, do you really think you can beat Randy Orton? Of course, Bryan says, yes, yes, yes. Triple H comes out. He says, I'm upset that you basically didn't do what I asked you to do. And he says, the main event tonight is going to be Dean Ambrose against Daniel Bryan with the Big Show in Daniel Bryan's corner. Now, of course, immediately when you say that, you know that's something, it's not going to be what they say it is. The Big Show has been in this angle with the McMahons for the past several weeks where he always wants to help Daniel Bryan, and he's unable to because he's been threatened to be fired repeatedly. We found out that supposedly he lost all his money in bad investments, and he had a strip mall that went belly up.
It's always
he needs his job.
It's always very personally entertaining to me when the show has a 40-something-year-old, 7-foot-something man crying and on the show. It adds a lot of entertainment value to me personally. I think it's very good.
What do you think the Big Show thinks of to make himself cry on cue?
He's very good at it. I mean, when he did it with Laurinaitis, which was the same storyline, he did a good job with it. He's very good at the acting.
He thinks about a giant rack of ribs, and then someone just like stomping on.
If there's ever a Broadway play that needs like a giant man in the future, he will be part of that cast.
Yes, the Big Show.
I don't know what that play would be, but there you go.
All right, so that's announced as the main event. Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan with the Big Show in his corner. Okay, Kofi Kingston has a singles match with Curtis Axel. Now, this match is kind of weird because Curtis Axel has been losing matches the past few weeks for various reasons.
The last few weeks.
Okay, well, ever since he debuted in WWE. But
I would think if you think he's like Michael McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel's combined win-loss record. I don't know. God. I don't know what that would look like.
2-400.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's this pay-per-view match coming up: CM Punk against Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman in a handicap elimination match at Night of Champions. And so Curtis Axel losing so much recently is like very alarming to Paul Heyman. He's like, uh-oh, what's going to happen? You realize that if you lose at the pay-per-view, that's going to be just me and Punk in the ring by ourselves. And that's very worrying for me. I don't want to get my ass beat. So he has this match, Curtis Axel, and basically it's a dumb match because he just puts Kofi into the corner and just repeatedly strikes him. The ref counts to 5, and Axel keeps attacking him, and so he DQs Axel. And Heyman's like, what are you doing? Like, if you do that on Sunday, I'm gonna be in serious trouble. What are you doing? So Axel's like, don't worry, it won't happen on Sunday. All right?
It's extreme.
So this leads... we might as well just talk about it now rather than talk about it in the order of our results here.
Absolutely.
So later on in the show, they cut to Paul Heyman in the back, and he's like, I slipped on water, and my knee is destroyed. Oh, I can't even walk. My knee is all hurt. So they say, let's have a trainer look at your knee. He's like, no, I have my own personal doctor I'll have look at my knee. So later on in the show, they come out to the ring, and Paul Heyman basically says, this doctor has examined my leg and says that I am not fit to compete in a match on Sunday, therefore I have to pull out of the match, all right? So, basically CM Punk comes, not CM Punk, but, who is it? Brad Maddox comes out with Dr. Sampson. Now, Dr. Sampson is like the top doctor of WWE. He's the one who saved Jerry Lawler's life a year before. Remember, a year ago, on this date, Jerry Lawler had his heart attack.
They were making jokes about that, I think, right?
They're joking all night about it. It's hilarious that the guy had a heart attack. But Dr. Sampson's like the lead guy. He's the top guy in WWE. A lot of the WWE superstars owe a lot to him because he's done these crazy surgeries and things to them to keep them going. So he comes out, and he examines Paul Heyman's knee and basically says there's nothing wrong with his knee. He's faking it. So that prompts CM Punk to come out. So CM Punk comes out. Paul Heyman sneaks away. But CM Punk basically destroys this doctor with a chair. Because really, you could tell he's not a doctor. He's all big, he's buff. He's not a doctor, he's a wrestler. So he destroys him with a chair. And this apparently is some kind of legit lead into Sunday. Sure. Whatever you say.
Jerry Lawler's actually going to have a match. I think in 2 weeks. Another show in my area, which I'm actually not going to be going to. But it's going to be him and Matt Striker. Matt Striker was released. But he'll be having a match with Matt Striker, so.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's not good.
It's that good he's wrestling, or is it just not a good match?
Both. It's not a good match, and why is he risking his life to be in this match? It was a shitty match against Matt Striker.
I'm sure he has his doctor's clearance, but I don't
What the
know
hell?
if WWE would ever let him back in.
What the hell? No, they wouldn't let him on WWE TV. No, I don't think so. So Bray Wyatt has a singles match against, of all people, Dolph Ziggler. Now, poor Dolph, how the mighty have fallen in the past year. He was the Money in the Bank holder for the longest period of time, trades it in, wins the title, immediately drops it back to Del Rio, has a really crappy rematch where he gets distracted by AJ. Now he's out of the title picture. Then he has a really shitty program with Big E Langston. Only lasts a month. Then that ends.
Is Big E still on the show now, or is he?
No, he was actually on Main Event this week.
Okay.
And it was hilarious because when he was on Main Event, they said, he's no longer distracting himself with AJ Lee. He's by himself now, so that he will not be distracted and held back.
I wonder what his future is going to be. It'd be interesting to find out what happens, see what happens with him.
I think he's done.
I don't know if he's really hit it off. Really,
I think he's done.
Yeah,
he's on Main Event now. You know, he's jobbing, and
we'll see. We'll see
done.
what happens.
He's done. So anyway, so Dolph literally went from like the #1 white hot spot to like super deflated within like 3 months. He's just like nothing now. Like he's literally like a balloon that you just should.
He's right back where he was last year, pretty much.
Terrible. So he has a singles match with Bray Wyatt, and it's a terrible match. Like if anything, seeing these two in the ring, at least in my opinion, you can see how one is so much better than the other, you know? Like, Bray Wyatt is green right now. He's still trying to formulate this character. What is his in-ring repertoire? Most of it was like, Bray Wyatt punches and kicks, and does a couple moves, like, you know, he does this cross-body kind of splash thing that he does, and really doesn't have that much going on in the ring, versus Dolph, who's, you know, he's a very refined character, he's been around the block, and it just made Bray Wyatt look bad, yet Bray Wyatt wins the match. It was so odd. It was like, he like bounced him off the turnbuckle, and then he did his finisher, just won the match out of nowhere.
I think they have a problem now with the Wyatts because they're hot and you want to keep the momentum going, but like what do you do with them at this point? It's almost like they brought him in without a real plan. They had the thing with Kane,
right?
As soon as that was, you know, that's ongoing, I guess. But
right.
Now it's in an in-between time. They don't really know what to do. And you have a heel stable. As heels, there already is a heel stable at the top, which has all the top baby faces in it.
Right.
So they're left in like the mid card, and all those guys are like scorched earth. You have Kofi, you got R-Truth, you got whoever else. None of these guys really matter that much.
Right.
Because they've just been up, you know, yo-yoed up and down so much. So, what do you do with the Wyatts going forward? I don't know what's going to happen with that.
I don't know.
And they got to figure something out because you're going to kill this momentum of these characters that people really liked.
I agree.
So
right.
It's going to be a challenge, I think. We'll see what they do.
Okay, so then you had your typical Divas match. Now, remember, they're going with this plot line where AJ Lee has kind of formed a stable with the Divas who aren't on the E-show Total Divas. And the Total Divas girls, even though they were all hated enemies and rivals, they've all come together in unison to become this stable, I guess. It makes no fucking sense. So they do Natalya, Brie Bella, and Naomi in a 6-woman tag match against Layla, Alicia Fox, and Oksana. The Total Divas girls actually go over here. And so now this is the build-up for the match on Sunday, where it's going to be AJ in a fatal 4-way match against Natalya, Brie Bella, and Naomi. So we'll see what happens with that. And,
yes?
It's not going to be good.
No.
So anyway, no, it's not going to be good. It's going to be bad. Because you got two girls who basically are, you know, not very good wrestlers against two girls who are very good wrestlers. And I don't know how that's going to go. Alberto Del Rio defeats R-Truth. Next match. I'm not even going to go on. Next match. Santino Marella. Oh my God. Santino Marella is back after like a ridiculous hiatus. You know, he hasn't been on WWE TV in like a year or so. I don't know what the actual record is. It's been a long time.
It's been less than a year.
So, he has a singles match with Antonio Cesaro, who is kind of...
he's in that mid-card position.
He's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb because there's no Jack Swagger.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, gee, why is there no Jack Swagger? Well, it's simply because he's Toronto. They won't let him leave the country because of his drug arrest earlier this year.
Right.
So, unfortunately, no Jack Swagger this week.
Didn't they say, like you were telling me before, I didn't see this.
Yes.
They were saying that he won't leave the country because he's so American.
The plot line is he's so American he refuses to go to any other countries. He has to stay inside of America, which obviously makes no sense.
Yes.
So yeah, so they have this match, Santino Marella against Antonio Cesaro. Now, this match is weird for a couple reasons. First of all, Santino comes back, and he's going nuts. You know, he's celebrating because he's back on Raw.
They used to feud way back.
That's true.
They had 100 matches, 2 years ago? Or
yeah, that's true. When Antonio was new, they had their matches. So, you know, Santino acted like it's some big deal that he's back. He's, like, going nuts, you know, and the crowd, of course, cheering because they haven't seen him in a couple of years, but still.
Well, a couple months.
You know.
A few years.
I say a couple of years.
What? Why?
I don't remember him being around for, like, 100 years.
What was the last time about?
When was he on TV?
I don't know exactly.
I want to know.
It's not been years.
Someone look it up. Tell me when he was on TV last. When was he on Raw? I want to know. Look it up.
It's not been years.
It's been like a year. I swear to God, it's been like a year. All right. So anyway,
it's been a year. I will agree with you.
All right. So,
for the sake of moving the show forward,
this match is so weird because Cesaro looks like super strong in this match.
Yeah,
he actually does.
Because he's so good. He's so talented.
Well, he is. He's
very good.
He's amazing. Cesaro does the giant swing.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy-ass move, and it's not like he does it for 5 seconds. I think they timed him. He did it for like 45 seconds, some insane amount of time.
Yeah.
So he does the giant swing, which is a very impressive move. No one really does it anymore. It's one of those traditional, you know, wrestling moves you don't see.
It's something he used to always do, though. And this is the stuff that drives me nuts about the WWE, because it's like, they'll see something like that, like, he'll do that, and the fans are like, people are real excited about it. You see that shit? This is amazing. He did that for like years and years.
Yeah.
You know,
that was one of his trademark things.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
In the Indies, and now, of course, he's in WWE. They don't let him fucking
there's cool stuff going on in the Indies that people would watch. It's the same thing now. And even like Dale Bryan, Dean Ambrose had a match. We're like, this is really good. They had matches before,
right?
That were better actually.
Right.
So there's good stuff out there. Check it out. But on the other hand, it shows like why do they change certain things about these guys when they come in? Like if he had that from the beginning,
right?
If he did some of the other things he used to do, it's only going to benefit him and the company in the end. But it's like, no, we will change you. You'll do this weird ass Styles Clash type thing for no reason, and
you also notice they don't even mention he's a rugby player anymore. Like they took that away.
Was stupid, and
it's
that's
gone.
good.
You know, he's not a rugby player now. He's We the People. You know.
But I mean, let him do some of that stuff, and then you have other guys in the NXT. I'm not gonna go through every guy, but they change them around. It's like just let them be what they do because they have established things.
Right.
They've gotten over in other environments. It would work. People, it's different.
Right.
Like the Giant Swing, it's different. You know, people are like, wow, look at that. Because again, they're tired of that same match. Like you talk about the Bray Wyatt Ziggler match where they're just doing this general stuff.
Right.
But I don't know. Hopefully they'll let him do more stuff that he's capable of. Let him win a match. He lost the match.
Well, that's the thing. This is what I don't get. So okay, we're gonna book this match. They let him do the giant swing. The crowd's going nuts for it. Like we haven't seen this thing in like a decade. We haven't seen anyone do this move on mainstream wrestling.
Yeah.
It's on the indies, sure, but not on mainstream. The crowd pop. He loses the match. It's like why? What? Why would you waste this crazy momentum? Obviously, if he's doing a move no one does, he does it for an insanely impressive amount of time. Make him job. And it's like, for what? Like, to what end? Now Santino got to win.
What does that do? What does that matter?
What does that do for anybody? You know?
He did the swing on the outside one a couple months ago too. Where he was swinging Miz or someone into the guardrail.
Right.
And then they just quickly that never happened.
Right.
Move 100 miles ahead. So. The guy's really good. I mean, you got to let him let it breathe, man. That's the problem with the WWE is let things breathe, let things be. They're always got to try to put their thumb on everything, and we know better than the fans. We know better than everybody.
Right.
We know better than you. That indie shit you did means nothing. That's garbage. We're gonna recreate you, and I don't know. This
was weird. This was weird, and the reason I say that is because it continued. They actually on main event this week.
Yeah.
Cesaro had another singles match against Kofi Kingston.
Right.
He again did the giant swing, and the Miz, I guess, he was on commentary, and he counted 25 revolutions.
Wow.
25 revolutions on the giant swing on Kofi. Kofi wins the match. It's like, what? Like, why are you wasting? Look at the potential, and you waste it. You squander it. For what? What is Kofi going to do? You've had Kofi win these matches, and then he's just going to lose later on. So why waste the potential? Let fucking Cesaro win. Let him get a push. But no, we know better. We're the bookers. Fuck you. Fuck Cesaro. He's put him in the fucking mid-card madness for the next 4 years, and then they'll tease like Ziggler. They'll tease in 3 years that he's going to do something, and then they'll just fucking squash him.
Everyone gets all excited. This is it. He's the future. This is it. This is his moment. And then throw it away.
It frustrates me. It frustrates me, John.
It's frustrating. That's why I don't watch it. That's why I don't really watch.
All right.
Honestly.
Damien Sandow has a match against The Miz.
I'm too old and I got too much shit going on to watch something that pisses me off at the end where I'm upset.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Damien Sandow has a match against The Miz.
Yes.
They finally decide they're going to let Damien Sandow win a match for once. Of course, he doesn't win it legitimately. He does the heelish handful of tights roll-up.
Well, that's what he does.
So Sandow, after weeks and weeks since he got Money in the Bank, he hasn't won a match. He finally wins a match here. So in the past month, I guess they probably looked at the statistics and said, oh shit, we haven't had him win a match in a month. Let's at least let him win one. And he wins one match. Big fucking deal. All right. So the big buildup of the whole night so far was that there's a return tonight. Not just Edge, but Goldust, of all people, is going to come back.
Goldust.
Now, if you remember, the plot line was the week before, Cody Rhodes had lost the match against Randy Orton, and because he had spoken up against Triple H, he got fired. And so, on this episode of Raw, Goldust is coming back. He's going to have a match with Randy Orton.
Yeah, I did actually watch this whole match. I put it on. It just happened to be this. So I was like, all right, I'll watch it. It was a fun match. They structured it the way it was like a main event feel. Mm-hmm. I didn't think Goldust was going to win. He did all his stuff. He still looks the same because he wears the suit and
right.
He looks pretty much the same as he always did. Good old Dustin Rhodes.
The thing that upsets me about the Goldust character is that over the years,
yeah,
they turned him into almost like a perverse character, which is fine if that's his character, but he can't really do it anymore because it's PG-TV.
He tried to do the ball kick.
Right.
I don't think he did it, though.
No, he didn't.
He tried a few times.
That's what I mean. He's going for it, but they can't let him do it because it's PG-TV.
He was, we already talked about it, I forgot, but yeah, when he first came in, that was very different for WWF to have a character like that. That was, weird stuff, effeminate behavior and whatnot, and
And his girlfriend comes out with a cigar always, and she's
Terry, Terry Runnels.
Was like, gee, I wonder what that's.
Yeah, she was doing that, and he was, and he would rub on Razor.
Yeah,
his chest and shit. And Razor was macho. He was very machismo.
Right.
And he'd be all disgusted with him and shit.
What is this?
And he would freak him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would get him in the holes, and he would start rubbing his body.
Yeah. What the hell? I remember that. Oh,
At the time, that was pretty crazy, man. That's pre-Attitude Era stuff. And then
so the premise here of this match against Randy Orton is that if Goldust wins the match, that Cody Rhodes will be reinstated. He'll get his job back. Now, of course, wait a minute. The McMahons obviously are going to do whatever they want, so why, you know what I mean? Why would they even reinstate Cody Rhodes? So it was a stupid premise to begin with.
Yeah.
But it was a good reason to have Goldust finally come back.
It was a fun match to watch, though, as a fan. I enjoyed watching it.
Right.
And the ending was, typical stuff.
Typical stuff. You knew that Orton was going to win the whole match.
I like the idea of the Rhodes family versus the McMahons, which is what they're kind of building towards.
Right.
And I know on NXT they have Dusty's the GM, and they did an angle on there where he got replaced by JBL and Triple H fired Dusty or whatever.
Whoa.
So maybe I would love this if Dusty shows up on Raw. I'm all over that. He does a promo. The thing I don't like, though, I think if it turns out to be the Rhodes versus the McMahons, they're going to bury the hell out of the Rhodes family.
They'll have Dusty wearing the polka dots again, and they'll do all the ridiculous shit just to embarrass
they'll
them.
make, you wear the polka dots again, or your son's going to get, whatever, the Shield's going to kill him or something, I don't know. They'll have him, kiss Vince's ass or something.
They'll have him eating pork and beans out of a can.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes me worried, is it going to turn into that? But if it's actually, some sort of a real thing where, that could be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I guess that would be a reason to actually see the McMahons every week rather than them just squashing the top talent.
I wouldn't mind it. But, if it turns into, let's make a mockery of these guys, then it's, typical McMahon stuff.
I mean, ultimately what they could do with this, they could turn it into the Rhodes with Daniel Bryan, with Dolph Ziggler, with the Big Show as a stable versus, all the people who side with the McMahons, and they could have, a big fight.
They're talking about Cody's fiance a lot. She actually was a wrestler.
Oh, really?
In their developmental thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So maybe I don't see Stephanie wrestling though. I don't know what would happen. I don't know.
No, she can't. She can't wrestle. Nah. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see where this is building. It's interesting.
It is.
The Rhodes plotline is one of the interesting things going on right now.
I do like it. Amidst
all the crap. Speaking of which, let's talk about Rob Van Dam versus Ryback via disqualification. This was so surreal.
All right, do you know something?
This is so surreal because you see the two guys in the ring. wearing the fucking leotards that are made by the same guy.
Yeah, no, you knew that. I was about to say that because I saw an interview with RVD, and the guy who makes RVD stuff, he's only made RVD stuff the whole time. And then Ryback, I guess, went to him and
asked permission.
And then the guy asked RVD if it was okay, and he's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And so it's the same guy who makes the outfits.
So they're both wearing outfits from the same guy. It's so odd. Like,
yeah.
Ugh. But the match was odd too. It was kind of like these two guys. They never had a match before.
Yeah.
And so I think these two could have a good match.
Yeah.
But they need to feel it out a little bit, and it was very odd. Like the RVD style didn't really mix well with the big bruiser style of Ryback. And the ending was shit. I mean, Ryback, I'm trying to remember what happened. Didn't he ran balls first into the ring post or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Was it ball crush?
Yeah, Ryback brought the match to an end by ramming the ECW original crotch first into the ring post. That's why he got DQ'd. He ran balls first. It was like, what?
That's illegal?
Yes. He struck him in the balls. So RVD wins by DQ, but his balls got destroyed. It's like, okay. So I think these guys could have better matches. I would actually like to see a program with these two, but they need to feel it out a little more. I think they need to practice, and I don't think that practice is something that RVD does. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know. He's had good matches with a big guy. He had good matches with Bam Bam. Other guys are big.
Right.
He's been around a long time.
And Ryback, let's face it, Ryback is still pretty green. So
yeah, he's probably on his end. I would.
I would like to see something with these guys later on. I think it would do well. It would be funny if they had a program and they're like, "You stole my leotard," and the guy comes out. Listen.
The loser can't have his stuff made anymore.
The loser can't.
He's like, "I will not make your shit anymore if you lose this match. I will not airbrush your leotards."
That'd be great. And if Ryback loses, so he has to come out. He comes out like awkwardly in like some weird outfit.
Yeah, they should have him like Ryback loses, so the guy won't do it. So Ryback makes his own outfit, and it looks terrible.
It's like crayon.
Yeah, he markered his suit.
See, that would be a stupid plotline, but I would like that. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, and then the main event of the night: Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I saw this whole thing. This was a fun match.
This was a fun match because you always had the Shield trying to interfere, but Bryan found a way to sneak around. And of course, just as if you've been watching WWE programming for the last few weeks, you knew that with Big Show is in Daniel Bryan's corner, you knew that was going to be neutralized. So right before the match, Stephanie goes to Big Show and says, "Oh, by the way,
she's great.
If you touch the Shield, you're fired." It's like
she's a joy to watch. But the thing I still like, it's a good match. The match is good. It's a good match. The match is good, huh?
Yes.
That's the great commentary you get here on Smark.
Hey, it's better than fucking tap the commentary on Raw half the time.
But I just hate the presentation of how they show their shows with this show because you have this. They keep showing Big Show's big bald freaking giant face every 2 seconds. Here's Big Show. He's just sitting there doing nothing.
He's just sitting there.
They're cutting away from the match, showing that over and over again.
He's pissed.
And it's like, why did you show the match? We know he's there. We understand that.
Yes.
And then the match itself is not really the main thing. It's the match is just kind of there, and then whatever happens. It's not really that important. And what's important is the nonsense after the match.
Right.
So and then what was it?
All right. So Daniel Bryan wins the match. He beats Dean Ambrose, escapes the Shield. So basically, there's no finally for 1 week. There's no beatdown, right? So you think Raw's gonna go off the air? Nope. So Triple H comes out and he orders Big Show to knock out Daniel Bryan.
He's like, will he do it? Will he won't?
Right.
Will he do
Randy
it?
Orton also comes out to the ring. That's important to know. So
Randy Orton's in the ring with Big Show. He's saying, "You do it.
Right. Go ahead. Do
this.
Do it." And Big Show's very hesitant. He doesn't want to do it. All of a sudden, Daniel Bryan does his running knee finisher.
Yeah, he recovers. Finally, it's been an hour.
Right.
And then he gives him the knee and
right.
Go off the air with him finally getting some of a push, a rub, which probably in WWE language means he will lose the pay-per-view.
He's losing at the pay-per-view.
That's usually how that works.
He's going to watch. It's going to be the Shield will beat him down. Randy Orton will do 5 RKOs. Triple H will pedigree him. Stephanie will come out and fucking throw food on him. Vince will come out and teabag him. It's going to be And then the Rhodes will come out and they won't. I'm just kidding. But
we got a long way to go with this storyline. This is going to be going on for a long time.
Yeah, until Cena comes back.
I think if I had to predict the outcome, I really see a scenario where it's the Rumble, and they screw Daniel Bryan. You're number 1,
right?
But he actually wins it or something. I think he will win the title, but only when Cena's back. So they can do the thing they did to CM Punk, where he's the champion but not really.
Right.
And he's in the mid card, but Cena's really the
right.
main event.
Right.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
And then Cena will just win eventually anyway.
And then Cena will eventually win. That's my prediction for the whole scenario.
That's a pretty realistic prediction, and I think you might be right there. We'll have to see what happens.
But again, it's not going to work unless Triple H puts over somebody.
Right.
Because he's not really Orton. Orton's not really the guy. Because they did the thing where you only have this because of me, and then Orton even said to him, "I have this because of you." It's like, well, okay.
Right.
Triple H is the guy, you know. So he's the one that has to lose to someone to make the thing work in the end.
Right. Now, I guess we should talk about the Night of Champions card, which.
Yeah.
What a poor card for a pay-per-view. After two pay-per-views that I actually purchased because I thought the cards were so good, and now to have this card, it's like so deflating.
Yeah, it's not good, but at the same time, I'm not gonna kill them over it because you can't do amazing stuff every time.
Right, you can't win them all. Right,
you can't win them all. I think and again, they have a storyline in place, whether you like it or not. They're not gonna here's the outcome of it.
Right.
So it's a filler pay-per-view, basically.
But the thing that gets me...
I wouldn't spend money on it.
I hope WWE is expecting low purchases. You know what I mean? Like, they must know that this is the filler pay-per-view. I mean, how could you not... I mean, if they're like, oh, we can't believe it. Like, well, wait a minute. Look at your card. So let's go through the card. The opening match, supposedly, which we don't know, but it's supposed to be Tag Team Turmoil. Now, this was just announced on Raw. No one even knew this was going to happen. It's the Usos versus the Primetime Players versus Tons of Funk versus three-man band versus the Real Americans in a gauntlet-style tag team match, okay? So two teams will start. Whoever wins progresses on. Another team will come out. They'll wrestle. Whoever wins progresses. The next team will come out. So obviously the team that comes out last has a massive advantage, okay?
And should Cesaro just, turn on Swagger and just, destroy everyone and just, beat the crap out of it and, be on his own. That'd be the best outcome for that.
And then job him out to Santino.
No.
On Raw, yes.
Well, that's probably what would happen if that did happen. Though.
So, this match supposedly is going to determine the number one contenders for the tag team titles. They said on Raw that the winner of this match would go on to wrestle the Shield for the tag team titles on the pay-per-view. However, we checked the website, and it makes no mention of that.
So we don't really know.
So we don't know what's really going to happen at the pay-per-view. It almost seems like maybe they have an idea and they don't know if they want to go through with it or not, depending on how the pay-per-view goes, okay? So we may or may not have a tag title match at the pay-per-view.
Who's in this again? I want to give a prediction. Who's in it?
The Usos, Primetime Players, Tons of Funk, three-man band, Real Americans.
Probably the Primetime Players.
I would think so.
Because,
they're the only real ones now that are getting a push.
Right.
All because,
Darren Young came out. Beat them,
Darren Young comes out. That's it. Give him a push. And of course the Shield will beat them. Yes,
I could see them. I'd see the Shield will win, but I could see them winning and then the Shield just beating them back. But we'll see the Shield will beat them if they do them. I don't know how it works.
If they do it, we don't know if it's going to happen or not. A Divas match, fatal four-way Divas match. I can't remember the last time they had a fatal four-way Divas match. So this is kind of.
All I remember is probably Who knows who was in that thing?
Right. So we have AJ defending her Divas title against Natalya, Brie Bella, and Naomi. That's right, the three wrestlers from Total Divas. So we don't know how that's going to go. My prediction, it's a clusterfuck.
I think AJ holds on.
I think she retains because of DQ. I think that the other Divas will come out who are in her stable now and somehow either distract or get involved, and I think that AJ will retain.
It seems like Natalya's the top face. Is that true? Based on my observations. So maybe eventually she'll get a shot, a singles match.
Caitlyn apparently died or something. I don't know where she is.
She's getting catfished.
Yeah, what happened to her? I don't know.
She's on the MTV show Catfish. They're filming that right now.
Yes. So, I don't know what's going on with her. Alright, so then you got the three major matches, the three main events. You got CM Punk in the elimination tag match against Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman. And I'm sorry, but at this point...
They're all good in their roles. They present it very well. But, it's just...
At this point, I don't care about CM Punk and Paul Heyman anymore. Yeah.
But they're very good in the way they present. They speak very well, and then they put it over. They try their best. But, again, it's just... I don't even think it's over at this point. It's going to continue.
Oh, my God.
Whatever the outcome is, I think it's just going to keep going.
They just really have nothing for Punk to do. They
don't
want Punk in the title picture because they're pushing Bryan, and Punk has no one else to wrestle. So, see, the way I see it, if Jericho was around, you know what I mean? Like, if you had a couple of those good mid-carders that they always bring back, he could have something to do, but because Jericho's not around, they have nothing for him to do anymore.
It's because of Lesnar, and Lesnar's not really part of the company.
Right.
So you have to wait for him to come back. And they go, okay, here you go. Here we start this again.
So I'm not really looking forward to. Obviously, I predict Punk will win. I don't think that anything major is going to happen between him and Heyman because, like you said, I think they're going to continue this plot line.
I think he's going to lose.
You think Punk's going to lose?
I think they're going to screw him over somehow, and then just to continue it.
Okay.
I think they're going to screw him over. It's just some kind of thing. And it would be cool if maybe Heyman has another guy.
Another Paul Heyman
Another
guy.
Paul Heyman guy, and then that would be a way that they could continue
Santino.
Honestly, Cesaro would have been on. Anyway, a lot of these guys. But if you have a new Paul Heyman guy, and then he screws Punk, and then they could have a feud with that for a little while.
The problem right now with the Paul Heyman storyline, in my opinion, is that he doesn't have a stable. If he had a stable, like 3 dudes,
that's what I'm saying.
And they were all like helping each other, that would be a cool plot line, but he does. It's just the one. It's
just one. It's freaking Michael McGillicuddy, and you go, well, this isn't really much. This is CM Punk. He's champion for all this time. He's one of the top guys. I mean,
right.
This is a challenge, So that might be interesting. I don't think it's going to happen, but.
All right, so the next match on the pay-per-view is the World Heavyweight title, RVD against Alberto Del Rio.
Incredibly stupid all around.
I don't see RVD winning.
No.
I think this is filler because they don't have a legit contender for Del Rio.
Think about that. The World Heavyweight Championship, that's what he has. He's the World Heavyweight Champion. And the way the match came about is because his ring announcer left him and joined this other guy, and then RVD won the title shot because said ring announcer stood on top of the announce booth, going like this, and he's the World Heavyweight Champion. Was distracted by this and was rolled up and pinned, and then that's why we have the match. It's just pathetic. I mean, it's all around.
Very weird.
It's a pathetic way to put together a match. I love Rob. I used to watch him when I was a teenager, and I saw him live a bunch of times in ECW, but I don't know. I'm not really too excited about this match.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool for Rob because he gets to be in a title
but it's not
card
even
match,
really
but not really, right?
It's not even a really. I mean,
it's the filler spot.
It's the filler spot that Christian had last time.
And then the main event: Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan.
And he deserves better, and in some ways they both deserve better. Really,
I agree.
Del Rio's really good. He's great.
They deserve better treatment.
He's just came back. It seems like he's been back a long time, even though it's only been like a month, 2 months. It's kind of squandered.
And then so Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. I fully expect ridiculous shenanigans. There will be interference.
Yeah, we got a long way to go with this.
You'll have the Shield involved. You'll have Big Show involved somehow. You'll have the McMahons. And I fully expect that Daniel Bryan will get screwed over and will not win the title because they need to keep pulling this program, for the next several months. So I really think this is just the beginning of the program. And so anyone who thinks that this is going to culminate with Daniel Bryan winning the title is you're really just fooling yourself.
They actually use Daniel Bryan, who is actually really over with the fans, and the fans really like a lot. They're actually using him to put over the other guys as heels.
Yep.
Which is the interesting part about it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they're putting him over by doing this, putting him in this position. But at the same time, if they want him to be the top guy, he would have won the title at SummerSlam.
Yep.
And been the top guy. But I think without Cena there, they were like, Triple H is he's the top guy. Triple H is the top guy now. Fills in for Cena.
Yep.
So ultimately, what will happen? I don't know. Will Daniel Bryan become the top guy? Hopefully, it does happen. I don't think so, but maybe. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, the people who get upset watching this or whatever, and you're dumb and stuff. Hopefully, they're right and I'm wrong because I'd like to see it happen, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so keep in mind we will be simulating some of those matches at least later today here on my Twitch channel and also on DSP Gaming on YouTube, so definitely check those out. All right, now we're going to talk about TNA, where they had their No Surrender event this week.
Yeah, I saw this whole thing.
And this was the culmination of the Bound for Glory series, and also a title defense for Bully Ray.
I actually like when they do these things on Impact. It's actually good for them, too. It seems like the ratings go up when they do this. I think it's a better idea than doing pay-per-views that no one will watch.
Right.
So
no one buys them.
No, they don't. So that's why they do this, but I think it's actually good. It's live and it's fun to watch. Not a perfect show by any means. I thought it was good.
It was a pretty
solid show. There's a lot of stupidity still.
It was a little disappointing in the regards that it's a 2-hour show, but they jam-packed in good matches, but the matches you could tell had to be kept short in a lot of cases. So you got your guys hitting their spots and looking good, but it was like within 5 minutes instead of what should have been maybe a 15 to 20 minute
and you got
match.
the commercial breaks.
Oh, I hate that.
Like the AJ Aries thing was starting to get... It was slow.
Right.
You started to get rolling, and then they go, commercial.
Here, watch fucking stupid, Cheetos and Doritos and Popeyes and Taco Bell commercials.
I think on the website or like the app or something you can watch.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
I think WWE does that too now. It's the second screen or something.
Yeah,
I think TNA does that.
Commercial break, you can watch the match continue.
I've never done, but I think TNA does do that.
So, alright, so the first match of the night was a semifinal match for Bound for Glory series. AJ versus Austin Aries.
This is the third time they've done this match?
I think so.
They've all been really good so far? So.
Yeah, and I like this match. Everyone's in their spots.
Second match.
Austin Aries, he puts AJ in a couple unique submission holds. AJ always seems to escape. And like I said, unfortunately, the match seems to be kept short, and I don't like that because I think this could have been a good match, a better match, if it was not like 15, 20 minutes, which it didn't. And the finish came out of nowhere, but it was kind of weird but unique at the same time. Where Aries was up on the turnbuckle.
Oh, yeah.
And AJ it looked like Aries was going to do something to AJ. AJ reversed. So Aries is like stunned. And then AJ goes up to the top rope and does a top rope Styles Clash to Aries. So it sold really well. It made sense.
Like you destroyed him to win,
Yeah.
That's what we had to do.
And it was good. It was well done. So AJ wins the match, advances to the finals of
those two guys, you'd be hard to press to find two guys better than them two. I mean, it's as good as it gets right there. So,
and then you had Bobby Roode against Magnus in the other semifinal match.
Yeah,
it was all right. It was a little. I
thought Roode was going to win.
It was a little weird to me because I think that like these two guys are very similar almost. Their ring styles. Like they have similar build. They're like the buff upper torso guys. They have
medium
power
sized
moves. Yeah. So it's like they're very similar, kind of evenly matched. And so the end, unfortunately, the end came. It was weird, right? Wasn't it like he flipped Roode somehow with like a reversal and gets the quick pin.
He kind of took it, kind of stole it.
It was kind of like stealing the win, and I was like, I would have more liked to see him like do his finisher and dominate and okay, I win. But all right, so Magnus wins, and Roode of course
was
is
like
ridiculously
shocked.
pissed
I
off.
thought Roode was going to do it. If you notice what they've been doing the last couple of weeks with AJ, it's like his redemption path,
Right.
So last week, if you remember last year, Christopher Daniels beat him and was supposed to be their final match ever. So they could never have a match again, but in the Bound for Glory series, they had to have the match.
Right.
Because the way the rules came about in that, what was it, the whatever they called that match, I forget.
Yeah, it was a gauntlet.
Yeah, the gauntlet. They had to face, and then AJ beat him. So it was like his redemption. So I thought it was going to be him over Roode, because Roode's the one that forced him to not have a title shot for a year.
Right.
But it was actually Magnus. Which is cool, too, because it kind of gives him a little bit of a push.
It gave him a push,
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that.
I like Magnus, too. I think he's really good.
We'll talk about that match. The title match, which was such a weird match because it was put together literally last week.
Again, this is TNA. They had the TNA stupid nonsense where the ref bump.
Right.
Tessmacher, by the way, I'm enjoying that aspect of the story.
Yeah, of course you would, John. Of course you'd enjoy that.
Oh, it's great. But yeah, the TNA, the ref goes down, and everyone comes in the ring, and they just go in the ring for like an hour.
Clusterfuck,
They're all in the ring.
And destroy Anderson.
They beat the shit out of Anderson. Anderson still gets up, though, because it's a last man standing match.
Right.
And then Bully puts him through the table to finally seal the deal. Put him on in a neck brace, put him on a stretcher, wheeling him out, and then Bully takes him off the stretcher.
Takes him up, beats the shit out of him.
Total shit out of him, whips him with the jacket.
Pile driver.
It's probably the worst commentary I've ever heard in my life when he takes the jacket off him. And Mike today goes, he took away his cut.
He took his cut. Took his cut away.
Yeah, Mike, today you're a big biker guy. This lingo. I was like, come on, man. But Anderson, I wonder if he's done with the company because they were saying his contract was running out. It definitely seemed like he was destroyed.
Yeah, right. Like he's gone.
I wonder if he's actually gone, but we'll see.
Anderson will be in traction for the next year.
Not a great match.
No, it was, and again, I feel like if it was a pay-per-view, it could have been a little better.
But that's not a pay-per-view quality match with those two. I mean, with Anderson in there, it just didn't. No.
I liked it.
The crowd was into it, but
the ending is you knew the ending was going to be shit.
But there was no way Anderson was going to win.
The thing that gets me about these matches with aces and eights, whenever they put them, it's a no DQ match now. Gee, I wonder if someone will interfere.
It's like the corporate storyline.
Yeah, it's like stop doing these.
It's all a repeat. It's all a repeat of the NWO at the end of the day. It all goes back to everything goes back till 1997.
Ugh.
Everything you were watching.
Wow.
Well, the Aces and Eights is messed up. It's like 4 people.
Right.
I don't know, man.
All right. So now Magnus and AJ, Bound for Glory finale. It's a good match.
But then again, you had the same thing that happened in the previous match. So these are your 2 most important matches, like in the company for the year, right? Because this decides Bound for Glory. So the previous match, the Aces and Eights come out and they're in the ring for 2 hours, beating people up.
Right.
This match, you had the new stable, which is Daniels, Kazarian, and Rude. They call themselves Ego.
Ego
is the name of the group. And again, they're in the ring for an hour, beating the shit out of everybody.
Yep.
I was like, the same thing. And that's cool to do it once.
Right.
It still sucks because it takes away from the match, but...
and you do it again.
Both matches have this?
Do it again.
Do it again.
So yeah, so AJ wins by, of all things, the spinal tap, which we haven't seen in, Jesus.
Yeah, it's way back.
Years.
Way
I
back.
can't remember the last time he did it. So he does a spinal tap, which is nice, wins, beats Magnus. So it's a good match. He goes over clean, and then you got stupid Ego coming out, beating the shit out of both of them.
Yeah, during the match.
And it's like, what the hell is this?
And
it's so
Magnus
stupid.
seemed very disappointed. Is he going to be maybe turn heel or something? Or,
Right.
I don't know, but then AJ gets on the mic, and you think he's going to say something about Bully. You think maybe Bully's going to come
now,
out.
I'm going to let you talk about this because it cut off on my DVR. I didn't even get to see it.
It was very quick. It was maybe 5 minutes on the mic, not even. But I expected maybe Bully to come out. Maybe he'd say something about the Aces and Eights. This is it for you, or something like that, because that's start building that match.
Right.
But instead, he starts doing a little bit of promo about Dixie, and he did one a couple weeks ago, which was good. A very similar idea. And he referenced that previous promo where he was like, if you thought I blew the roof off things, wait till next week when I say stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I did see the spoilers for next week. It seems like they're going to a storyline involving Dixie and things like that nature.
Stupid.
So, it is stupid. And
WWE has the actual management of the company involved in a storyline right now. We need to do it too.
Well, again, that's not an original idea what they're doing. But again, it's like it goes back to what I said. Like the people in charge of these companies, they're more about putting themselves over, making themselves look good, and put themselves on the show and make money for themselves than anything else. So I don't know. I don't want to say that's what it is because we don't really know.
Right.
But
the one thing I wanted to ask you, because I didn't hear, I wasn't reading like news sites or anything this week. So Tito and Rampage are off TV now. They're not on the TNA show anymore.
Okay.
And this was announced. They had a backstage vignette where it was Dixie and Hogan.
This was on last night?
This last night.
I didn't see that.
And Dixie sits down with Hogan and says, listen, you may notice that Tito and Rampage aren't here anymore. It's because Bellator contacted us and said they don't want them on anymore because it's too much of a risk. They're getting too heated. They don't want them actually fighting because it'll risk the fight they're having in a few months. They're
probably in training or they only they'll have a certain amount of dates, whatever it is. And
yeah.
That's why,
So I don't know. I don't know what the
truth
is. Are they going to be back? Is it true that maybe they're off TV for good now? I don't know.
They'll be back to push the thing one last time. But that's the only reason that they were there, to push the thing.
It's interesting that you mentioned Aces and Eights, because now think of it. No more Anderson, no more Tito.
It's bad.
So really it's just Bully Ray, Nux, Bischoff, and Briscoe, and that's it. It's 4 guys now. There's like nobody left.
It's not good.
What happened to Doc?
He just got released.
What the fuck?
He was in that wave of releases.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that happened?
He got released.
Like he was the first guy. He was the first guy in Aces and Eights. Remember?
Well, Nux and him were under the masks.
Yeah,
they were fighting like Austin Aries and Angle and all that.
Yeah, it's like why would you release him? He's like the major part of the group, and they released him.
I don't know. I'll be seeing him. He'll be at the show that I'm
going to. We're gonna release Doc, but we're gonna keep Nux. What?
Just think about these names. It's like the friggin' 7 Dwarves or something.
What the fuck?
Nux and Doc.
I don't know. So it's really weird. We'll see where they're going.
Yeah, a lot of people got laid off.
Obviously, they're leading up to next month's Bound for Glory pay-per-view, where it'll be the culmination: AJ versus Bully Ray.
It's got to be the end of the Aces and Eights. It's just got to be.
I would think at this point it has to be. I mean, what else?
Just get rid of it.
What else are they gonna do?
Just get rid of it.
You know. All right, so that's it for this week's Smark, guys.
You want to talk about Jim Ross?
Oh, we forgot about that. Yeah, let's talk about that before we go.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere on, what was it, Tuesday maybe? Jim Ross retires.
Yeah.
And a lot of outpouring of support for Jim Ross. I mean, definitely deserves it. Probably the best commentator ever, arguably. Not only that, but a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He was responsible for bringing Austin and Foley.
Yeah, he was a recruiter.
And many other guys into WWF at the time. And Vince didn't want them. I think the knock, Austin can't talk. Mick Foley, he looks skeevy or whatever.
Oh my god.
Jim Ross knew them from his time in WCW because he was a big part of WCW in the early 90s. When those guys were there. And he brought them in, and those guys were responsible for basically saving the company. And without Jim Ross, without Austin, and a lot of these other people, there would be no WWF because WCW would have destroyed them. Basically.
Right. Yeah.
But then you hear there's all these different reports out there now that it was basically like a forced retirement, and it kind of makes sense because if he was going to retire, why didn't he come out on the show?
Right. Why was there no celebration? Oh, goodbye, JR.
Have him talk about like if it was his choice, like have him come out, say something. I'm retiring. You do a little bit of a party or something, a celebration. Vince probably would have made him kiss his ass or something, like we always do with Jim Ross. But it's kind of odd. And the report is basically about studying from the 2K14 press conference of all things.
Oh, no, this is fucking stupid.
Where Ric Flair was out of control, and it seemed like Jim Ross, I guess they said he didn't do what they wanted him to do. He wasn't in line with what they wanted. He had lost control of it, and he took heat for that. And I don't know if that's the case. I mean, it's really sad because he deserves a lot better than that, So
for the years of amazing service he put in with the company,
and he dealt with a lot of bullshit too. I mean,
oh yeah. Fucking Michael Cole squirting barbecue sauce in his eyes, his face in Rikishi's asshole.
Kissing people's ass. He kissed like multiple people's asses.
It was all asses with him. They made him kiss asses, shove his face.
No, Linda kicked him in the nuts.
Yeah, Linda kicks him in the balls.
Which basically cost her the election because all the commercials that we saw, her opponent would use that footage of her kicking in the balls. So I don't know, but anyway, whatever happened. But whatever he does in the future, good luck to him. And
he's one of the all-time greats.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's funny. It's funny to say that about someone who's been so heavily involved with wrestling, but wasn't a wrestler. You know what I mean? So he's one of the guys who got himself into the industry.
Many decades.
He's well known for it, and he's well respected. And JR, best wishes to you in the future. And here's hoping that we will see him again somewhere, whether it's for a one-off thing or whatever, but he's a good guy and he's entertaining and he's done a lot of work for the business and he's well respected. So best wishes to him. All right. So that's it for Smart Guys this week. Again, I know I've said it a bunch of times. Say it one more time. We will be simulating the Night of Champions pay-per-view matches, so check that out. Next week we'll be recapping, obviously, all the results of Night of Champions. We'll be talking more about how the WWE managed to humiliate Daniel Bryan during the course of the week, and and do all their usual plot lines. We'll be talking about where TNA is going towards Bound for Glory. So next week we will be doing Smart Guys, just so you know. And that's about it. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, whether it was on Twitch or YouTube. We appreciate it. Have a good day. Hopefully we'll see you for the simulations in a little bit. We're actually going to start setting up right now, see who he can get.
It always takes like an hour. It takes like hours.
It does, because you got to see if you can get the online to work to download the characters and stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. And that's it. Thanks a lot, everyone. Peace out. See you next week.